colleague when our two ladies depart. So thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. And just to the committee for your information, it's 7 minutes past 12. We will break at 12:30. I want to get through the whole agenda by then. So look, I'll just hand it over to this particular one. So this is our Dudas Beach one, and Deputy Mayor, if you want to move.
Oh, sorry, the Deputy Mayor.
Pardon?
Off you go. You take it. No, please.
Anybody? Yeah. So Deputy Mayor and Councillor Walker. Sorry.
I'm happy to second.
Yeah, Councillor Fletcher. One from the left and one from the right. So look, it's now put onto the table, and please introduce your colleague. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Tēnā koutou, ko Caroline Stevens, tōku ingoa.
Kia ora. So the purpose of this report was to propose the removal of a legal encumbrance which gives council first right of refusal to buy some properties that would lead into Duda Regional Park. These date back to 1982, when there were plans to improve the access to that park, but subsequently to that council has acquired land and there is much better access from North Road. So what we did was undertake an assessment against the Parks and Open Space Acquisition Policy, which indicates that we do not need it in terms of a provision point of view. We don't need it from an access point of view because we now have better access, and also significantly that land, according to GIS, will be subject to coastal inundation. So the proposal is to remove it. That encumbrance is also for 99 years, and it does place some quite stringent conditions upon the current owners. So it seems opportune to remove it. That doesn't preclude council, if it so chooses, to buy it at a future point in time. We just wouldn't have that first right of refusal.
Kapai, thank you. Nothing to add? Okay. So, questions? If not, comments? If not, all good? Oh, sorry, matua kake.
Yeah, could you just remind me or tell me what the experience was with Māori input into this? Have Māori been engaged, and if they were, what did they say?
So through the chair, we didn't consult with mana whenua in terms of this, so this was a long-standing encumbrance back to 1982.
Well, I think they were around then. What was that explanation?
So through the chair, I don't have the knowledge in terms of those decisions that were made by Manukau City Council back at that time, but I can obtain that advice.
Sorry, I put the mic on. It can be circulated to the committee as well, but how do you want to progress this?
I hear what they've said, but in terms of making this decision now, what engagement have you done with Māori around this, and where have you sought for their advice or input into this?
So through the chair, as I said, we haven't consulted mana whenua in that respect.
Oh, is that acceptable?
I think in regards to this particular issue, Paul, just a supplementary to that, because of the encumbrance and with Manukau, would we, I can understand where matua kake is coming from, but would we normally end up going through it as a result of the encumbrance?
In response to the chair's question, no, not in that respect.
But not to at least in this particular case remove it. And I don't recall anything as well, and I don't really have any knowledge as a councillor in the Manukau days. But yeah. And just to follow through, I'm not prepared to hold this particular item over. I think with the history with this, to remove the encumbrance, I think needs to be done.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just welcome the conversation with mana whenua, that's all.
Yeah.
And now, in the past, if it wasn't done in the past very well, let's try and do that again.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, for encumbrance, whatever.
Okay.
It's important that this relationship is acknowledged.
Aye. So ka pai.
Even if James doesn't want to talk to you, but
No,
it's
at least the approach
it.
was made.
Yeah.
Yeah, ka pai. If there's no further, Councillor Darby, is it question or comments? Question.
So, when you remove an encumbrance, somebody's made a request that the encumbrance is removed, right? And we're responding. Who is the beneficiary as a result of the removing of the encumbrance? The requester, I gather.
So through the chair, the requester was the Duda family themselves. So the encumbrance sits over the 4 properties that belong to the Duda families, and they are associated with the estate of Ian Francis Duda.
Yeah, so it's a private entity. Yeah. So,
Private families.
yeah. So, who's paying for all of this if the beneficiary is the private entity?
So through the chair, the normal practice would be that the requester would cover the costs, which are approximately $600,000. $600 to remove the encumbrance, which is largely a transaction through to Land Information New Zealand.
Okay, so they're covering all those costs there. There's no value. Have we looked at what value has been created, new value has been created, whereby we might actually sell the uplift of the encumbrance rather than just think it has no value. I've done this in my own right, and I've charged for it. So I'm just, from my experience, I'm looking at our situation of having very little money. Has anybody given any thought to the value that's created and therefore the opportunity for council to actually charge for the uplifting of the encumbrance?
Through the chair, no, we haven't done any detailed analysis in that regard.
Well, is it worth, Chair, asking Finance if there is any value here that could be charged for?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question just to supplement that? So to Claudia. Claudia, my understanding is Finance are looking through all agendas at this time to make sure that there are no negative impacts for councils, but all opportunities are being looked at. Is that the case with this agenda? I mean, are you confident that that's happened?
So thank you for the question, and through the chair, yes, Finance are looking through every opportunity. This specific question, though, I'm not too sure if it's been addressed.
So through the chair, in answer to that question, as per current practice, the Finance Department did look at the financial implications of the section, but as Claudia has indicated, I don't believe that they were looking at the wider financial, potential in terms of whether such an encumbrance could be on-sold or what the benefits may be to the Duda family itself.
No, and I'm fine with that, with Finance going through, so if there's no further questions or comments, yes, is Richard the Mayor first or the Deputy Mayor?
Age before beauty.
Age. Your Worship, the Mayor.
Oh, I went on both fronts. This is, let's get clear what we're doing here. We're taking away an encumbrance that gives us the right of first refusal to acquire the land. But if we were to acquire the land, we would be buying it at market value, right?
Correct.
That is correct.
So are we actually adding any value to the landowner by taking away our right of first refusal? That's probably illegal. Well, it might be illegal or a property question.
It probably is a property question, and I'm not sure I know the answer to it, but no, I don't believe so.
Yeah, so the landowner was going to, if we decided we wanted to buy the land, I'm very familiar with it, I live near it, we'd be paying the market price. When we remove the encumbrance, then the landowner would otherwise be free to sell it to somebody else at the market price. So thinking logically, actually, we are not necessarily adding any value to the land at all, are we?
I don't believe so, but we're removing a constraint that sits upon those titles. I don't believe it has any financial value. It just enables the family to sell it on the open market without first consulting Auckland Council.
Because we no longer need the land. Okay, thank you.
Councillor Cashmore, because we've
Pretty much
been
it's
through-
just what the Mayor said, Chairman, except the fact that when the ARC bought this property from the Duda family, I'm just trying to remember the date, it was many years ago now, the encumbrances were kept to protect council's access to the property. There is now an access, as the report says, off North Road, which is well facilitated by the public with car park, etc. So this is no longer needed. So you're just freeing up the land back to the Duda family. And I'd also put in the fact that this height of this land above Mean High Spring means it's virtually impossible to build upon it anyway in this common time. So
And through the chair, obviously, that has quite an impact in terms of the value of the land.
Yeah, no issues. I was just about to put it, and then, yeah, we had more questions. So if there's no more comments, I will put the recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. We then move into a public art regional work program. I want to try and at least get the next two before lunch.